So I'm super, super, super excited now to invite Sara to share with us her transformational story, and I'm going to bring her in right away. Hello, Sara. Good to have you here.
Hi, everyone. Can you
Hi.
hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you. You're beautiful as always. And yeah, thank you so, so much for coming. Thank you so much for sharing and for, yeah, letting other people, hear your story and feel your glow and witness what is possible when you take that kind of a leap. And so thank you so much. Sara is a mother and a librarian, and you live in Chicago.
Yes.
And that's kind of the info. And maybe further than that, I will let you introduce yourself and maybe share, what brought you to reach out to me, to join the program, to take this leap of faith yourself, what you were struggling with, what you were looking for. And then I'll ask you a couple of more questions.
Yes. So I found Shimrit on Facebook on this group actually, and I think I was interested in purchasing a program or following or taking steps, but I never took any steps until my relationship that I was in started to fall apart. And so my family was kind of in turmoil, and everything emotionally for me was opening up in a big way. I was grieving still the loss of my children in a car accident where I lost my 8-year-old daughter and a pregnancy that I was carrying. And so, and I never fully was healed from that. And then I know I had even previous trauma and previous pain that I needed to revisit. So I didn't know which way to take, but I just kind of started communicating with Shimrit. I think she gave me a good 2 or 3 phone calls where we went through, reasons to do and pros and cons and reasons to do it and reason to wait. And it really just made more sense, even with the investment for me being a big deal. It really just made more sense to go ahead and start moving towards becoming free and becoming who I wanted to be, rather than waiting for all the money to be in the right situation and everything. It's one of the decisions that I wouldn't think twice about regretting at all, because it's been the most beneficial for my life, just to be able to be free to function and do my job and take care of my kids and pursue my goals and learn new things and be creative. All of those things were constrained and blocked in me due to grief and anxiety and pain and worry, and all of my relationships were suffering, honestly. So there's been a lot of growth in a short amount of time, and I just am grateful to keep working with Shimrit and to see that she's doing more and more. So I'm grateful for everyone that's been reached through this week. And I've been pretty busy this week, so I haven't been able to sit in on a lot of sessions, but I have sat in a little bit, and I'm happy to be here and answer anyone's questions.
Thank you so much. And I'm tearing because this has been really one of the more empowering journeys for myself. I mean, your journey, Sara, and our journey together, because yeah, I was gifted the opportunity to be available in the right time, and yeah, this has been one of the most. I can't cry. I'm on camera. Oh my God! But this means the world to me to have worked with you, with everyone, with each and every one. But I don't know. Now I'm emotional. I don't know. For reasons, for feminine reasons, maybe as well. So thank you so much for being here and for sharing that. And maybe you can share, kind of the experience from the work itself. What have you found to be most meaningful or impactful for you within the work, within the program?
Yeah, so I have my notebook where I took notes when we were doing exercises, and I would have to say that every exercise that we did was extremely it was extremely helpful in clearing things up. So one of the ones that I was looking back on today was like clarity lists, and just talking about moving from a list of negative thought patterns and old thought patterns to new ones. And like I have it organized in a way that brings a lot of clarity for me about what I was actually obsessing and worrying on. And so every exercise that we did was very helpful, especially because I have them written down and I can kind of see the difference in the changes in the thought patterns, but also just the availability, the way the program is designed, with Shimran being very personally involved and being very open and available to what may be going on. And I know that I had to take advantage of that before, when I was having a hard day and woke up and didn't know how to approach it, or how to change my state. Just having her be available and to remind me of exercises or things that we could do to change the mood was extremely helpful. And just knowing that I had someone, that I wasn't bothering them, that she would listen to me, even if I'm repeating myself or saying the same thing, and help me get to the bottom or find it. Give me one moment so I can.
Your dog, yeah. I have a dog too. There's many dog people here in this group, and some cat people as well. I take this opportunity because now, guys, I have to look at my phone to see your comments. This is very annoying, but it's just how we're gonna work. Hi, Milan. Hi, Lorraine. How Shiraz. Hi, Genevieve. Hello, everybody. If you have any questions, Sarah mentioned that you're welcome to ask her questions. So you can also bring your questions in. I might see them in a little bit of a delay, but you're welcome to ask questions as well, of course. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Sarah. I was taking the opportunity to read some comments.
Yeah, so I just think that everything was very impactful, but doing the meditations obviously was very emotionally involved, and I think that that's where a lot of healing work occurred, where some blockages were able to just be removed. And then the encouragement in practical ways about habits and changing just my approach to different things, approaching it with a very positive and outlook that includes the opportunity that things might go well, rather than a lot of the other a lot of the filters that I had been walking around with in front of my ability to engage and function with everything.
Yeah, thank you. Was there any kind of many times people share with me that there is kind of and I see it also, I witness it, that there is kind of a pivot point that where usually it's about 1.5 to 2 months into the program, where people kind of, we practice, we learn, we open up, we sustain, we keep it consistent, the practice, the connection. And then there's a pivot point where something happens, or things click, or there's something that we do in the program. So I wonder if there's any such thing that you could share.
Yeah, I think there was definitely, there was definitely an incline, like you said, climbing up still. It felt like the entire time that I was taking big steps. After every session, I would feel much lighter and more connected to people that I maybe would have never had an opportunity to connect with or meet or understand, and which also gave me a sense of being included and having an understanding of my own self and my own experiences. But when the day when I did have to call you, and I think I called off work that day because everything was too much. And I was just sitting on my couch and feeling very low and feeling very helpless to change any of that. And just even I think I shared with you in that moment, just considering, like, do I need to go to the hospital, or do I need, what can I even do to help the state that I'm in? Because there was just an overwhelming anxiety, overwhelming sadness, and just a feeling of being stuck completely. And then being able to push through that with a meditation, with talking, with some physical exercise, and then going outside and completing the exercises that I did, I feel like that was the day that really stands out in my mind, where I connected to a source of my own. And it wasn't necessarily just a dependency thing, where I'm taking this program and the ability to call you as I'm just depending on that, like another relationship. But it was more, all of the things start to translate into a relationship of my own, with my own personal source for grounding and healing. And it was just an enormous encouragement that this can continue into my life, and that it's not a quick fix that kind of goes back after a few months, but that it's an actual change in thinking and processing and living.
Yes, I remember that day very, very clearly, and I don't think I will ever forget it, because it really was, I felt that I was there in the right time. So I was so grateful for that. And, we could all, in the group as well, we could all see the change in you after that, and it never went back to I mean, there's ups and downs, of course, but it never went back to where it was before after that day.
Right. Yeah.
And I always
the feeling that it's that there's a major shift that has occurred and that can occur, and that I can re-access. Even if I do wake up in a low mood again, like it's accessible to me. I have everything that I need.
Right. And I remember, I think we had that conversation, and I've had these conversations with others too. You mentioned that it's not like depending on some other relationship, because I think when you hire a coach, or when you choose to jump into such a process and just such a space, and to make accessible resources like this, it's not like, using resources of other people in your life. It's not like this giving away your power, like Michael was saying earlier today in the first session, when you give away your power to other people, expecting them to fulfill your needs. It's so much different. It's more like you're extending your own by working with, for example, with me, or with taking on, with making available for yourself a resource like that. You're extending your own capacity and including that resource in your own set of resources. It's nothing like, even if you're relying on that help, it's not the same thing, because you're including that help as part of your own resources. It's absolutely different than calling your mom or friend or whoever. It's absolutely different. And I think that what you said shows that, right? It's like you connected to your own strength. It cannot be taken away, even if, we can't, if I'm not available or something, or if, we go in different ways, or I don't know what. You have that resource. It's with you. It's stayed. It's not dependent on anyone else. Even if I was that person at that time, that to represent that to you. Yeah. And you had the opportunity to work with Danielle, that we'll meet in a short moment. So I know this was very helpful for you too. Maybe you can say something about that as well, so people can know from that. We will meet Danielle in a moment, but that's an opportunity to hear also from your point of view, from the point of view of someone who was working with Danielle. How is that? What has that brought you? And
Yeah, I would say that my time working with Danielle and the meditations at each of those sessions was also very rich and full of, that it is something I could take with me to remind myself. I think I collected several mantras from either from listening to Shimri encouragements that she would say, or from the meditations, even just reminding myself to center and to be in the space where I have everything I need, to send love to the areas that have pain. Like these simple concepts that just kind of switch everything around in the way I treated myself, the way I thought about myself. Those are all it's things that stay with me that are beneficial. And then also I have the meditation so I can practice them again too, and
right.
go through the chakras and learn, experience those healing and removing blocks and things like that. So there's always more to learn. I would love to work more with Danielle also, but I encourage anyone who's thinking about doing that to definitely attend and to experience it, because it's very, for me personally, was very healing and expanding my mind to different ways of accessing peace and calming myself, and that I didn't know or have in my tool belt before. So.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you had this opportunity to work with Danielle, and we will meet her in a moment. And yeah, and it's true. You mentioned that you have those meditations, and not only the meditations. So every single session is, of course, recorded, and you have that for life. So you can go back to the processes that we've done, to the meditations, to the group sessions. Everything is there. So that's something that is worth mentioning. So thank you for bringing that up. And if that's okay with you, I would like to ask you if, many people that are listening have been struggling for years, and have tried also other things, right? Like therapy or counseling or medications. So I think it could be really interesting to hear, how this has been different if you've had any prior experience.
Yeah, so my main challenge with seeing a therapist regularly has always just been that when I'm feeling low, I don't go. And so I'll cancel my appointments or just not show up to appointments. And so I've never been able to maintain a regular relationship with a therapist. So that was a concern even on entering the program. I was just like, well, maybe I feel today that I need this program, and I'm motivated to work, but maybe tomorrow I'll feel like I can't engage and I won't do anything, and then it'll just waste. It'll just sit in the email in the inbox, and I'll waste my money. So I even expressed that concern to Shimri when we were discussing whether or not for me to go forward, and she explained how it's not the same, because there's actually an incentive of, this is what she's here for. And so she definitely followed through on this on several occasions when I was late to a meeting, or missed an appointment. She would follow through with me and find out what's going on, or just be very gentle with me. Just be very gentle with me, and so that I couldn't take that side against myself. Oh, well, you've already messed this up too, and you might as well forget it and maybe move to the next thing that might help or might fix it. Instead, it was just a very practical and gentle way of like, okay, what can we do to move forward? And for me personally, that was extremely helpful, because it was a difference between like several clinics that I had appointments with, they just would say, oh, well, you can't make appointments anymore because you've missed too many appointments. And that's understandable, of course, but it didn't help me to get through the things that I needed to work on. So for me, that this has been an excellent experience. And I think that even when I go back and do talk with a therapist, there's still just lasting impacts of like how to look at things differently and how to not look at everything like it's a failure of me as a person, and says something about who I am, and taking on all this extra judgment and negativity surrounding everything. So
thank you so much for sharing that. And maybe I can ask you, you kind of answer this question, but I will ask it also to give me an opportunity to see if there's any questions for you. And so if there's anything for you to add in terms of, there are people who are watching who have been following, this workshop for all this week, and I know that people are enjoying it and are using the tools. I've been having great feedback from people, and I'm so happy for it. And then I know we've been extending the invitation to join us, right, to join the program, and some have done that, and some might consider. Right. And I know it's a very big leap, as I was saying. It is a very big leap. It's a very big investment as well. It's, of course, worth everything if you actually get everything. But then people might say, okay, but is this for real? Is this for me? Is this, if I can do it? So I wonder if you have anything, to say to someone like that might be watching and might be on that, on that fence. And as you talk, I will be looking here to see if anyone was wanting to ask you anything. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, for anyone that's considering, if you already have a feeling or a strong connection with the things that have been mentioned and have been taught, and that Shimrit is saying, like, I would definitely encourage you to take that investment for yourself and to pour into yourself. And because it's not going to be anything a waste, anything negative, all of those things that we have a little suspicion about in the back of our minds, like, oh, what is this? It's nothing like that at all. It's definitely a very personal journey, and like I think that you've seen when she's introduced everyone, we've all found friendship, very, very much so, just in a very vulnerable and comfortable way. Especially the group sessions facilitate a lot of relationship building that actually I think is helpful for anyone to have those connections. And so whatever it is in yourself that you think that you need to address or focus on or give some attention to, I highly recommend. I think that there's not another thing I could encourage you to do that would take those first steps more and give more clarity to what you want to work on, especially with relief from symptoms that I've experienced with depression and anxiety, grief, and just managing my day-to-day life and my perception of myself and my care for myself. So those are the things that are like number one central, and it's easy to lose focus of that and be doing all kinds of other things. But if you pour into that center, there will be nothing to regret, I guess is what I'm saying.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm looking last time to see. I think we are good. I thank you so much. I love you so much. I'm so happy to see you because I haven't seen you for a while, but we will be in touch very soon. So we have a session waiting for us, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm so grateful for you to come here and to be vulnerable and to be open and generous and share all that with us. Thank you so much. It's very valuable for myself and for others. So thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'll see you soon. I'll talk to you very, very soon. Thank you so much.
everyone.
Bye, Sarah.